DC. He is the new WBA super lightweight champion, upsetting the Frenchman Khalid Rahilou here in Paris. Well, Showtime Championship boxing continues from France with our co-feature welterweights, PESTRAYIEV versus Page. WBA #1 contender Andrey PESTRAYIEV and #3 James Page fight to see who will shine tonight in the City of Light. So we are getting set for Andrey PESTRAYIEV, rated #1, versus James Page, rated #3. We'll explain why this has gone back and forth over the last week or so as far as it being a fight for the WBA vacant welterweight championship or not. In the meantime, we are standing by for the official introductions.
On va assister maintenant, mesdames et mesdemoiselles, messieurs, au deuxième championnat du monde présenté par Star Productions, Canal+, en association avec Don King Promotion et Showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the second of our featured attractions here from Paris, France, brought to you by Don King Productions and AB Stars Productions in association with Canal+ and Showtime.
Championnat du monde WBA, titre vacant des poids welter. Le superviseur est monsieur Gilberto Mendoza, en association avec la Fédération française de boxe et son président monsieur Guy Debisson.
This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, the president Gilberto Mendoza, supervisor in attendance Carlos Chavez, along with the French Federation of Boxing, the president Guy Dubuisson.
Yes.
Les juges pour ce championnat du monde sont le Mexicain monsieur Héctor Hernandez, le Canadien monsieur Guy Jutras et le Danois monsieur Ove Ovesen.
Now we introduce our judges scoring from ringside. We have Héctor Hernandez, Guy Jutras, and Ove Ovesen.
L'arbitre de ce championnat du monde est monsieur Christodoulou Stanley.
And the referee in charge of this bout, we have Stanley Christodoulou.
Dans le coin rouge, il a 27 ans, il mesure 1m72, 66 kg, 24 combats, 21 victoires, dont 17 par KO. Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, sous vos applaudissements, l'Américain James Page.
All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA sanctioned welterweight championship of the world, a vacant championship. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing solid white trunks, hailing from Pittsburgh, California in the United States. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds with a record of 21 wins, 3 losses, 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the WBA #3 ranked contender, introducing the mighty Quinn, James Page.
Dans le coin bleu, il a 27 ans, il mesure 1m73, 66 kg, 678 grammes. 23 combats, 21 victoires, dont 16 par KO. Il a été champion d'Europe en 97. Il est classé numéro 1 mondial WBA. Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, sous vos applaudissements, le Russe Andrey PESTRAYIEV.
And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this vacant championship bout, wearing red trunks with gold trim, hailing from Ufa, Russia. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 147 pounds. With a record of 21 wins, 2 losses, he has 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the WBA #1 ranked welterweight contender, Andrey PESTRAYIEV.
right, let's size him up as we check out the tail of the tape. Pestrayev at 28, just a year older than Page at 5'11", both quite tall for welterweights. They each came in at 147, the limit, and Page with the 1.5 inch reach advantage. Key rules for this fight: no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th round, it's a technical draw. After the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards. Originally, this bout was sanctioned by the WBA as a title fight as we look at James Page. But earlier this week, in what has become a familiar scenario, a judge in New Jersey ruled that this bout not be for the championship, but that number 2 ranked Jose Luis Lopez, promoted by Main Events, be given the fight for the title vacated when Ike Corte, also promoted by Main Events, was stripped for twice failing to fight the Pestrayev. Meanwhile, here in Paris, another judge has ruled that Pestrayev versus Page will be for the title. After all, Showtime, contrary to a press release issued by Main Events, did previously check with the WBA, confirmed this bout as sanctioned. The WBA, reacting to New Jersey, pulled the sanction, and now reacting to Paris, has restored it. And for our part, and probably yours as well, we don't know, we don't care. We're simply tired of all this nonsense, but we felt we had to tell you the story anyway. So I'll tell you what, instead of Showtime, Bobby, this fight should be on Court TV.
Well, I'll tell you what, every time we hear about Main Events, it's followed by a judge said or a judge ruled or ordered. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think the People's Court will take it.
Well, for the participants, although Pestrayev is Russian, wearing the red trunks, trained by former fighter Louis Saccaris of France. We saw Louis in the Rahilou corner earlier. In fact, tonight, his 5th fight on French soil. He's 4-0 with 3 KOs here in France, so he's no stranger to this environment. Meanwhile, the hard-hitting Page, unfamiliar surroundings for him, who's making his European debut. He's got some kind of left hook. In fact, respected matchmaker Peyton Shear called Page the hardest hitting welterweight in the world today. That's saying a lot considering that division.
And considering Peyton's maybe one of the finest opinion makers in boxing. So did Don King, by the way. On the way over the plane, said if this is going to be an upset, it's going to be Page. The guy can bang. So let's see.
Pestrayev has a reputation, European stand-up style. Usually what goes with that is a rock chin and great conditioning. Well, he's going to need that chin if he's going to get by that left hook.
He must be tough. He's here because he's a very good fighter. So I think this is going to shape up to be a fight of the night.
You know, I just saw Pestrayev do something very smart. He threw a right hand to the body underneath the left hook of Page. He got a big punch with a left hook. Take his body away. That left hook will slow down.
Pestrayev never off his feet, but he did get wobbled by Pernell Whitaker and seems to bust up easily. If he stands right in there in front of this guy Page and shows no movement, not a healthy choice. Again, some questionable opposition of late, with the exception of Whitaker, but he'd better have a good chin against this kid from Pittsburgh, California.
Well, and the other end of that coin is Page better have a good chin. I mean, you know, he comes in here with all this reputation as a puncher. You got to be able to take a punch.
Pestrayev just threw a nice double jab, straight right hand on the chin of Page, who took it very well. So we got to find out if he's got the power Page has. I highly doubt that.
There's a nasty jab, shotgun jab, as you would call it, Bobby, from Page.
Which is odd that he keeps his hand that low and yet can jab that good. I mean, look where his hand is for a jab.
And that is a powerful jab. It's sending the Russian back.
Well, there's a rumor that the Russian has a little bit of a tendency to bust up, swell up. Those power punches that Page is throwing should do some damage.
By the Russian, I take it you mean Pestrayev.
Yes.
That's correct.
Just checking.
As far as the American Page, no fights in '97. He told us he spent 10 months in prison that year, got into trouble with phony credit cards, very remorseful now, and quite thankful for this second chance to fight.
Page walked into a nice right hand here, too. Got his attention pretty well. Took it nicely. And big left hand, left hook, right hand.
The Russian goes down.
And he is in trouble. He sagged into the corner. He didn't look like he's in great shape then. They landed right on the button, and he can bang.
And Ferdy, that's the first time he has tasted the canvas in his career. First knockdown.
Page worked him back to the ropes, used a jab and a strong right hand, used the ropes as a backstop, and fired a straight right hand left hook.
How you feel? Okay. You okay? Huh? Okay. You have a time. Take it easy. You do a mistake, you know, boom.
No problem.
Give him a water.
Yeah, I will.
Let's take a look at that knockdown. Everything was going Page's way, and I think he sensed it. He put in, well, the left did it. He didn't need the other one, but he
well, actually, as he's backing him up here, I think the left hand gets his head up in the air a little bit. He snaps him up there, but that right hand off the top of his forehead, I think, kind of just drove him to the floor. The punches are clean. They're all heavy, Ferdy, so it's hard to tell.
Akaris, the cornerman, the same cornerman that worked Raul, so he's in for a very long night. Both his fighters end up on the canvas before the fight starts.
More than English, PESTRAYIEV speaks boxing. And that's what Louis Zacharias says in front of his face. The #1 contender knocked down with 35 seconds remaining in round 1. A rude awakening for the Russian.
Just a moment ago, it was a pretty right-hand lead by the Russian to the body. PESTRAYIEV with a nice right to the body, but the danger there, and there's a nice right hand to the head.
Yeah.
The danger there.
Oh! A left hook that sends him sprawling to the canvas, and forget about it. No way he's getting up from this one. It is all over. Even Louis Zacharias was out at the count of 8.
His head bounced on that so hard we could hear it. Bobby, remember I told you at the beginning there's no padding to this? He hit boards.
But what I was saying was, when he goes to the body, he goes from a straight stand-up position. You can't do that with a power this kid has. The counter left hook will take his head off, and what happens?
See, they should leave him until he's fully recovered, then sit him up. See, they're badly mistaken what they're doing with him now. This guy's not still there. Now comes the stool. Now sit down. Sit down and let him recover.
Knocked senseless to the canvas, and he is still on wobbly legs. Finally, they get a stool under him, Purdy.
They got a stool, but they got to make him use it. Sit down.
Slowly.
This guy is so far out, he doesn't even know how to fold his legs.
He makes it to the stool.
Well, I think that the punch was enough to really hammer him senseless, but boy, that bouncing off this unpadded, just virtually unpadded ring certainly didn't add to it.
We told you about the vicious left hook of this kid, James Page, and Peyton Shear, the matchmaker, may be right on.
I'll tell you what, here's somebody that De La Hoya probably doesn't want, Corte doesn't want. Nobody wants any piece of this guy for not anything short of a lot of change.
Well, one of the best-kept secrets in boxing, but that could have changed tonight. James Page.
Well, let's take a look at what can be described as an almost perfect knockdown. Let's look at it perhaps a couple of times. Let's study it, because watch Page's left. He begins with the left. He's setting it up now. There's the left right there. Now look at him. That's all gone. Left and a right on the way down. But look at the way his head bounced. Now that bounced up, and it sounded awful from here. It sounded like a. Now,
watch
Bobby,
it again. Now this is something that's not traditional. Normally when a guy fires a right hand, you fire right hand back. He throws a left hook over the right hand, something that I used to do, and I think it's very effective. No one's expecting it. And look at that head slam. All his weight was going down, and the whiplash into that canvas was terrific. Look at this.
Well, as we see, the left hand's the only thing you need. He could have stepped back and he was gone. He was on the way. Those other two punches did not land with any force. But the fact.
One last look at this head snapping. The hook is great, and the hook has probably got him out anyway. But if the hook didn't do it, and here it is, you can see he's out. His eyes are gone, but watch his head slam, and you can't really see the full force to that slam because the camera wasn't quick enough. But he really hit the ground hard.
You know, and I'm left with how often in our openings do we say things that come back to you. I said it's easy to win the title, it's hard to hold it. Tonight we've seen two guys let the title go to the underdog and to the contender, and that's a lesson in boxing. It's so tough to keep the championship.
James Page displaying compelling power as advertised in this co-production with Canal Plus here in Paris, France. So under these wacky circumstances, if he's not WBA welterweight champ, he sure looked like one. Californian James Page with this win over #1 contender Andrey PESTRAYIEV as he gets a hug.
First a minute.
This should elevate himself to #1 status as we are set for the official call from our ring announcers Daniel Alouche and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Est déclaré vainqueur de ce combat par KO à la deuxième reprise. Et donc, le nouveau champion du monde WBA des poids haltères, l'Américain James Page.
And ladies and gentlemen, the official time of 45 seconds in round number 2. Our referee counts to 10. The winner by way of knockout. He is the new WBA sanctioned welterweight champion of the world, the mighty Quinn James Page.
By virtue of this victory, the powerful Page should now earn the right to fight number 2 contender Jose Luis Lopez, assuming that suspension is lifted on Lopez for failing the urine test. But they should get together for the vacant WBA welterweight crown. No messing around. That's the thing that they should do for the fans and for the good of the sport.
I can see why anybody would try and get a judge to stop this guy from fighting me.
Yeah, that's a good
me
point.
Or anybody else.
Good point. But a lot of people leery of getting into the ring with Jose Luis Lopez, including Oscar De La Hoya, the man who floored Ike Corte twice last year in a fight that ended in a draw.
Steve, you have some very dangerous fighters in every division. Everybody looks to do their best to avoid them while continuing the money machine. They're all money machines, grossing big dollars. If you can continue to do that without putting yourself in harm's way and a chance of losing, it's kind of smart. Maybe not the most admirable thing to do, but smart.
Left hand high on the temple brings James Page what he thinks is the WBA title. Let's not only look at it, but let's listen to it as well. Thunderous left hook by James Page, who ups his record to 22-3 with 18 knockouts. The fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, is standing by with the new champion. And then some.
Congratulations. The man sitting next to you, Don King, on a flight across the Atlantic the other day, said to me, the big hit of this is going to be Page. He can bang so hard, he's going to shock and amaze everybody. He was right.
He was right. First of all, I got to thank Don for giving me the opportunity. You know, he brought me in. You know, he gave me an opportunity, and I've just been knocking people out for him. And you know, so he gave me an opportunity, and I've been doing what I had to do. I've been up in the camp in Orwell working hard, and it's been paying off. And also, Freddie, I want to say hi to my wife and kids back at home.
You're entitled to do that. You're the champion.
I want to say hi to Nikki, my wife Nikki, and my daughter Jalasia, and my daughter Jeray. I love both of you guys. I'll be home Monday.
Now, the punch that landed, that was a left hook, as you saw. Did you think you needed the other two because it didn't matter? He was gone.
I knew I hit him with a good left hook, and I seen him going down, so I wasn't sure if he was going to stay down. So I figured before he goes down, let me get something else off to make sure he stays down when he goes down.
All right, we have just seen the monitor. Let's look at it again, right here at our feet. Now you tell me, see it? You
right
see
there,
it?
I see he's coming forward. So I know I was going to try to slip the right, but he caught me with the right a little bit. But I knew so when he threw the straight right, I was going to slip the right and come counter with a hook. But he hit me with the right a little bit, but I still was able to get my hook off and catch him. So and I still caught him and hurt him. So it was a good shot.
I tell you, that was a resounding knockout because he hit that canvas. They got very little padding, and he really. Now, Don, what is it with this championship? Have we got a champion? Don't we have a champion? Where are we? Are we back in court?
Well, first of all, I want to say I neither sought nor requested a title sanction for this fight because the judge in New Jersey said that it couldn't be sanctioned, so I didn't bother with it. All I wanted was for Page to win. However, a judge here in Paris overruled him, and the carries went to court, and they got an overrulement that made the WBA sanction the fight. But it was not my request. I had nothing to do with it. All I want him to do is to fight, because if he fought the #1 contender, he's going to be able to fight Lopez anyway. So he would be the one that replaced Pestrov. So we're satisfied. We're ready for Lopez. We're ready for Lopez. As soon as they can get him ready, we're ready to take him on.
And what would that be? Is that 3 or 4 months, 5 months? When?
Well, as quick as Lopez can get ready, we can do it in 60 days. We can do it in 90 days, whatever it is. I'm going to check out with the main event and see if Lopez and Barry Hearn, who's been calling every day, see when he want to fight. We'll be ready to take him on.
Well, this man told me he had to chase you like if you were Sharon Stone before you'd ever talk to him. And when you did, you put him in the gym and you never let him go since.
That's right. This one is going to be a great champion right here. As soon as he knocks out Lopez, then the world is his. He can fight any of the guys that's out there, Trinidad, Ike Quartet, De La Hoya. We're going to rack them all back because he's fearless, he's ready to go, he has the power, and nothing can stop him but himself. And so we're going to work with his mother, Pam, who's doing a great job. Pamela Page, she's right here with us, and we're going to deal with her and make this guy a great American. And a hard-punching, fighting welterweight like Sugar Ray Robinson.
That's what he looked like.
Come ready. Lopez better come ready, too.
Well, it reminded me of Sugar Ray Robinson. Those of us lucky enough to have seen Sugar Ray, that was it right there. That's what he looked like. And anything else you want to say before we part to our dear friend, Steve Albert?
Yes, before we go to Steve Albert, we're going to be bringing on Fabrice Tioso. He's going to be fighting his mandatory against Paxo. We're looking for Ricardo Lopez and Rosendo Alvarez. So we're going to have some great shows in store for you on Showtime Championship Boxing, and nothing can stop us. Undeniably, we're #1.
Well, thank you very much, Don, and congratulations. And now back to Steve Albert.
Thank you very much, Ferdy and company. We just received good word that the Russian Andrey PESTRAYIEV did not go to the hospital to receive any further attention. So that indeed is good news, because he really got popped by a vicious left hook. The heavy fist of James Page. Just a tremendous, resounding shot for the man from Pittsburgh, California. All right. As we wind things down, let's go back, take a look at the highlights of tonight's boxing from Paris. We begin with our main event. The champion coming in, Frenchman Khalid Rahilou, upset by the American Shambe Mitchell. Here's one of 4 knockdowns, this in the second round.
Shambe Mitchell got to work early, had Rahilou down, and then he was on the attack, coming at him with lefts and rights. Here, a nice right hook and a straight left hand right down the pipe. You see him dive into him with that right left hand. And he had Rahilou all but out there in the second round, en route to a big unanimous decision.
He waited over 10 years for this first title shot, and he brings it home. The WBA Super Lightweight Championship goes to Shambe Mitchell. Then in our co-feature, which you just saw, it was James Page. And here's the knockout in round 2.
Page, along with the canvas, gives PESTRAYIEV a double thump. Gets hit with a tremendous counter left hook right over a right hand. You'll see it right on the chin, and he is out. And as he goes down, his head slams into the canvas. That is a double punch, double knockout.
Now we put the final stamp on it, Bobby. We review the results of tonight's fight card from France. A clean sweep for the Americans. First of all, a night to remember for Shambe Mitchell, who sends the French fans home unhappy. Mitchell beats local favorite Khalid Rahilou to capture the title, waiting a long time for this chance, bringing the belt back to America in his first attempt at a title. And James Page of California successful at the expense of #1 contender Andrey PESTRAYIEV of Russia. Page, the new WBA welterweight champion of France. Of New Jersey, who knows? A heartfelt thanks to our people in co-production with us here at Showtime, the good folks at Canal Plus. And that'll do it for another edition of Showtime Championship Boxing. We hope you enjoyed it. For the Fight Doctor, Freddie Pacheco, Bobby Ches, our entire crew, Steve Albert saying so long from Paris, France.